All right, this is going to be just for the hair, and I'm going to show both Leia and Han. I'll start with Han, and I'm going to turn everything off that I don't need, okay? Which means, and I mean everything. So I'm going to turn off his coat, his shirt. I'll turn off everything down. As a matter of fact, let me just drag all the way down and turn Han completely off. And now I'm going to click on his face, and just so I can have something to start with, and I'm going to show you that for the most part, you need to blank in. What does that mean? You need to block in, not blank in, different areas on his hair that are for the larger areas. So what I want to do before I turn the top hair on is to show you this hair. So let me go into that hair and show you there probably is a left side and a right side, and I'm going to just take it all off. Okay, I'm going to unlock it all. So what I did was I have the right side bangs, the left side bangs area, the top hair on this side, and the top hair on that side. Now, I want to get close on it because that allows me to do a couple of things here. And using the clicky copy as your means of identification, when I look at something like this, I immediately break it down into reasonable meshes. In other words, could I do this entire left side as one mesh? The answer is no, because the hair changes direction from going like this kind of a curve to going like this kind of a curve. And the hair here goes on a soft curve where the hair here actually curls back up. So that tells me that that needs to be separate meshes. And it's pretty easy to do once you can get the whole rhythm of it. Now all the hairs that are going in different directions here are going to be top small hairs. This is a great area to begin with, either here or back here, because all the hair is going pretty much in one direct area. So I'm going to turn off Han in his reference layer. I'm now going to go to the top hair here and see if it's going to let me move it up. And let's go down here, and I'm going to open the top right hair. I'm going to open the top, the left hair. Now, what I did was I created clipping masks for them because it was too hard to try to maneuver or match the outer line. So I'm sorry, but here's another thing about clipping masks. So I'm going to show you the clipping mask when I turn it off for this side. The clipping mask itself, I need to zoom in, but then that's fine. I'll move it down. Okay. The clipping mask itself is this shape right here. So you can see how I actually have the shape following the head. The clipping mask for the other side is the same clipping mask. So I use the same shape to identify the outer part of his hair. But if I turn off the clipping mask for the left side as we're seeing it and the right side as we're seeing it, I've made a very simple mesh. Here is a mesh that I started with just top, bottom, right, and left. You can see the rectangle. Here's the corner of the rectangle here and here, and over here someplace, and of course down here. So what I needed to do was, and I didn't save many versions of this because I didn't need to. You probably should, but I didn't need to. So if I have a center line that's running in the same direction as the hair in the center here, and I do the same thing with the left side or the top, and the same thing with this side, isn't all the rest of the hair going to just be clicked in place? And then all you have to do, and I'm going to zoom way in, is be very patient. Use your eyedropper. Turn on the reference, which I am doing right now. Take the reference and click one at a time. Yes, I said one at a time with the direct selection tool. So now go to the eyedropper, which is the I key. Toggle the command or control key and go click and color. Then watch this, click and color. Then click and color. Then click and color. Then click and color. And keep that whole process going until you either drive yourself nuts or you're finished. I don't know what's going to happen first. But you can see what I've done is I have got a ton of lines in there, and it only took about half an hour to do that. Now I'm going to multiply this shape times a bunch of shapes that I've put on top of each other. You cannot do hair in one shape. And I'm sorry it's taking so long to show, but there are a lot of shapes in this. And my movie file makes it kind of hard to work efficiently. So I'm having to be very patient. So I'm moving this up one at a time so I can get to show you the whole body of hair, including his sideburns. Okay, that's probably pretty close right there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to now click away with the A key. I'm going to turn off his reference layer. And I want you to watch me build this hair and make sense of it. It's going to look horrible at first. So I'm going to turn off all of his bangs and everything else. I'm going to close, turn on the clipping mask for this and this, which means his left hair and the clipping mask is on, his right hair and the clipping mask is on. So now I have both of those on. Let me close those layers. So here is the solution for I don't know why it's not showing. Oh, because I didn't turn it on. Okay, there we go. Okay, silly me. Okay, so now here is the, I have to lock up the clipping masks, and I have to lock up the clipping mask on this one, which I did not. I unlocked the wrong thing. Okay, so now I should save the file. But here is the mesh for that side of his head. Here is the mesh for that side of his head over on this side. Oh, sorry, clicked the wrong one. So there's the right side, here's the left side. Now with those done, I'm going to close them. I'm going to lock them. Here are the bangs. Now the bangs go in, and I'm going to click on the bang, and I'm going to show you to lock that up and to click on it. I now have this dark portion here. The part that I need to have in front of it is going to be on this layer up here. So just bear with me here. I'm going to turn on the bangs on this side. I needed an area of darkness behind the hair so that I can make the shadowing appear. Okay, because I really don't feel like it's going to be efficient for me to keep on turning on and off the clicky copy. But do you see how there's a darkness behind this hair and a darkness behind this hair? Okay, with keeping that in mind, all right, I just have to wait for that to turn on. Keeping that in mind, look at how I am going to go to this hair right here. Let me turn it on, but now take it off by undoing this right there. Okay, here is the right sideburn. Here's the second left part of the sideburn. I guess I better select these, and you know what? They're all locked up, so I have to unlock them. Let me see what selects. Oh, geez. In each case, I have to go in and lock the clipping mask. Okay. So there is the next wave of hair. Here is the next wave of hair, and here is where it is. So now I took two more shapes on top of his head. Here is a mesh for this side. Can you see that mesh right here? That really did a good job. So now I have hair going in this direction, and I have hair going in this direction. And now if I look at the clicky copy, I know that I need to now have small hairs in front of this to camouflage it. So, plus another couple shapes. You got to be patient with this, or it's just, I'll just say it again. You got to be patient. Here's the front right area. I'll click on that one so you can see it. Here is the next top left area. That one really did a good job in maneuvering this. Okay, the reason why the clipping mask selected is because Brian didn't lock it up. So now I've locked it up. So now here is that shape. And look at how gorgeous that is. Let me turn that one off again. Look at how that one just made that look so good here. Now here's the left sideburn. Let me move this up a little bit. Here is the little bank of hair right there. That little bank of hair now goes in that direction. Now look, with this and this combined, do you see how now this melts right in? And that now really started the final detail on the hair. And just keep on working at it till you get it done. Now that filled in the hole right there, and I'll click on it. Again, I don't ever lock up that doggone mesh. the clipping mask. So now here's the front left curls. That is pretty much all the hair without the smaller hairs on top. So here are the forehead lines in his forehead, and here is the top hair on top. Now, if I may, I'm going to unlock it. I was going to say hope that it's unlocked, but it's not. And I'm going to click on the top hair. So I need you to see how I've added little hairs. Gosh, it's going to take forever to magnify into that. Let me see if I can. It's going to jump in. Okay, let me click away. Do you see how all these little hairs, look, I'm going to take them off. There's the secret. Did I need a lot of those little hairs? No. And some of them, I actually reduced them in opacity. So like that hair right here, that hair is actually at 60% opacity. The hair right down here, that one is at 40% opacity. So this one, there's no difference between the dark ones here and the dark one here. I just took that dark one at 20% opacity. That one was at 30% opacity, and I kept on maneuvering the opacity so they got lighter and lighter as they blended into the face. That is very cool. Now, the same way I have to finish one sentence before I go. Okay, I'm going to move it up. Now, Han had a set of back hair, which I separated and put as a lower layer underneath the face. So if I close the thin hair on top, close that hair, here is the back hair on the bottom, which is going to be where I'm pointing and where I'm pointing. Now, let me turn off Han and get into Leia and maneuver on her hair. Her hair was much the same way. Now, I've shown you in the first file kind of what her hair was. So let me open it up and see if I need to turn on, which I haven't even turned on the braids yet. The braids were one shape that I kept on cloning and cloning and cloning and cloning. So I'm just going to turn on the braids on the left. I'm going to turn on the braids on the right. I'm going to turn on the upper hairs. There's the braids on the right, and that's it. Now let me zoom into that. Hopefully it won't crash. Okay, let me move this down. I took a lot of time. Let me unlock both of the braids and click on them. Do you see how I actually have all of these braids going in that direction? Here is one, there's another one, there's another one, there's another one, there's another one. Then there's this shape on top, which I had those as the cord. So here's the cord, I'm turning it off. Here's the cord, I'm turning it on. I'm unlocking the cord and I'm clicking to it. So those were all little separate meshes. See how cool they are? Now, look at how I have the little hairs on her head, and look at how this is a bank of hair on this side. Let me make sure it's off. Hair in front. So here is the bank of hair here. There's a bank of hair there. There's another one right over here. Let's now move down here. There's another one right there, another one right there, and another one right there. There's a huge set of hair for the top of her head going off in this direction, a little one right there, and then another one for the bottom of her hair back here. So, how long did it take me to do her hair? I'd say it took me 25 hours to get all of her hair done. So that's what I wanted to show you. And I was going to try to make this file available to you in Adobe Illustrator, but on YouTube that's going to be quite difficult. I'm thinking out loud of how I would get it to you. I'm not going to get it to you. So I may, in school I can put it in a Dropbox, and I may attach it to my website. So at some point on the YouTube click, there may be a URL that I include to my website to get a copy of the file, which I might do. So look on the website, especially for the hair, just so you can get the file and actually utilize it, okay? If I can actually do it, because it's a very high memory file. But I hope you enjoyed these movies, and if you have any questions, email me at my school email, which is S like in Sam B as in boy, at Macomb, that's MACOMB.edu. You can request a copy of the file that way, and I will try to get it to you. Okay? Thank you.